Sergeant, establish a picket line. This could be a trap.
Establish a picket line.
Sign a burial detail.
For a burial detail!
Yes, sir.
Soldado, they are few. Do we attack?
You count only their men, Poderoso. I count their bullets. When we have enough guns, we will attack.
I've been hearing all my life that Apaches are born with two left eyes and they can't hit anything they shoot at. Well, it takes practice to become perfect, and it takes bullets to practice.
What's going on, Mr. Lane?
I'd say a little shooting practice.
I'd say you were teaching the Apaches how to be marksmen.
That's about it. It's time somebody showed them the fine points of shooting so they can feed their families. The man gets kind of mean seeing his wife and kids starve to death.
I don't think I have to tell you Apache guns are used for other than hunting game.
Yes, my men also use their guns to support your cavalry.
I don't think that support is worth what it costs.
Oh, what does it cost?
We're fighting not only our enemies, Mr. Lane, but your father-in-law's.
Say it clearer than that.
All right. Vittorio's getting old, and there are young bucks around that are just achy to take his place. And they don't care how many white settlers they have to kill or how many troopers they have to kill to prove to the rest of the Apaches that they're entitled to take his place. The Holbrook family, settlers southeast of here. We buried them 2 hours ago. It's ammunition from Fort Lowe.
Where else would I get it?
See you in my office.
I'll be there.
You're in big trouble, Mr. Lane. Big trouble. You could end up facing a firing squad. Do you know that?
Well, it's hard to say how a man will end up.
Supplying Apaches with government ammunition is not a minor offense, Mr. Lane.
It's no offense at all, Captain. Colonel Crook authorized rifle practice for Vittorio's men. To get things started, he had me draw ammunition from the garrison stores here at Fort Lowell. Authority is on file with your magazine officer.
Why wasn't I consulted?
Well, I'll tell you, Captain, where I learned my military etiquette, a colonel didn't need to tell a captain what he was going to do. Besides, you were on leave while all this happened.
What else happened while I was on leave? Any more surprises in store for me?
Vittoro will have his own ammunition supply, so he won't be drawing on you. Wagons ought to be here any day from Tucson.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that I'm going to be in charge of supplying the Apaches with ammunition?
Somebody has to, Captain. Unless you want those savages in charge of their own gunpowder.
That's all, Sergeant. Dismissed.
Now Crook's starting to spend the taxpayers' money so he can train Apaches to kill us. Seems to me he was good enough at it all along.
Grant, you got it all wrong. I told you what Hondo said. Once they get to be good shots, them engines is just gonna shoot jackrabbits.
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. From now on, I'm gonna start wearing me a sign that clearly says I ain't no jackrabbit. Have another drink, Sarge. I gotta get going.
What's the story?
Colonel Crook's got an ammunition train on the way, so Vittoro's bucks can learn to shoot.
You're telling that to the wrong person, Grant.
So, should be telling Soldado, huh?
He'd want to know.
That's what I figured.
Poderoso! Fire!
Mr. Lane! Courier just rode in from Fort Whipple. Colonel Crook wants us to meet him at Vittoro's village right away.
Looks like I'm gonna have to go look down the neck of a bottle all by myself.
He wants you too, Mr. Baker.
It's your outfit will just age some more.
And so will I.
I called you together to tell you I'm being detached temporarily. Ordered back to Washington for some social nonsense. I'm gonna have a medal pinned on me by the president.
Kind of sudden, isn't it?
Maybe, but it's mandatory. At any rate, I want you all to work together like you've been doing while my replacement's here.
Not all the leaders of the white man's army have your understanding of the Indian.
Well, I'll only be gone a couple of months. Nothing will change. We've been making good progress in getting our people to live together. It hasn't been perfection, but it's been progress.
When do you have to leave, sir?
I leave for Tucson tomorrow. If it had been left up to me, I'd have left the area in your charge, Captain.
Thank you, sir. Just who is...
Ammunition wagon, sir. Attacked and looted. Coming down from Coleman's grade. Driver and convoy. Massacred.
That's quite a going away present. Well, that's a problem my replacement will have to cope with.
You didn't say who is your replacement.
Colonel Buckeye Jack Smith. Where are you going?
They get drunk.
I must call a council of the chiefs tonight. Can you be there? Then don't get too drunk, my son. I will need you.
Don't worry about me.
Come on, Sam.
Hello, Hondo.
Whiskey.
Hey, where you been, huh?
stabling my horse.
Buckeye Smith. Colonel Buckeye Jack Smith. You know, just saying that name turns good whiskey bad.
Well, I figure I'm gonna make myself scarce until Crook gets back.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna take a 2 months leave.
Well, you can't do that. You're on regular Army payroll.
Oh, now you're making me really sick. Buckeye Jack Smith. Boy General. He won the whole Civil War all by himself. And didn't old Buckeye Jack almost single-handed whip the whole Sioux Nation? You better believe he did, because he said he did. Oh, man. I wonder what old whiskey barrel they scraped the bottom of to come up with Buckeye. It must have been an old one. Oh, Mr. Triboulet, sir. What can I do for you?
Shut up, if you please.
Did you hear that, Hondo? Mr. Triboulet asked me to shut up. If I please. Why should I?
You're annoying me. I happen to think a great deal of Colonel Smith. Your remarks are offensive.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Maybe that explains it. I wondered who picked Smith for this command. Maybe you and your brother arranged it with your friends in Washington.
Why, Hondo, you overestimate our influence. However, if what Mr. Baker says is true, I'll confess I'm very pleased.
Yes, sir. I wonder how many politicians have been in the bank with your pleasure. What does it cost, Triboulet, to handpick your own commanding officer? What's the going rate on colonels like Buckeye Jack?
Triboulet, Hondo asked you a simple question. We all know how much you make on a nice engine war, selling bullets and material to both sides. How much does it cost you?
Take your hands off me, you crooked...
Welcome to Fort Lowell, sir.
This is Fort Lowell, Captain. A cavalry post?
Yes, sir.
Appearances, I thought it might be a fortified saloon.
I'll have the area cleared in a moment, sir.
Break up that fight.
O'Hara, Smith, Johnson, break that up.
I want to inspect all military personnel attached to this command first thing tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir.
I trust your command is as spirited in fighting Apaches as they are in fighting each other.
They're good soldiers, sir.
They'd better be. I came here to fight Apaches.
Yes, sir.
Yeah? Looks like we've done it again.
Well, that's all there is to it. Smith isn't going to replace Colonel Crook. In 2 months, Crook will be back. Nothing's changed and nothing's going to change. Smith will honor Crook's policies. Crook is asking you to accept this temporary change in command in good faith, that's all.
Good faith? I never accept the word of the white man in good faith.
Pride is the knife that is pointed at our hearts.
Senseless pride that makes some of us believe that we can defeat a people with 1,000 times our strength. But I did not call you here to discuss what you already know, but to tell you that today some of us broke our treaty with the white man. Those soldiers who died were protecting ammunition that belonged to all of us. It was given to us by Colonel Crook so that we could hunt food for our women and children. Apaches!
Vittorio tells us that we are to love our white enemy in order that we can eat. I say that if we listen to this old woman, we stop being Apaches.
Did you raid the ammunition train, Soldado?
If I did, I have enough ammunition to drive the white man from our land. And then our women and children will no longer starve. And we could feed them even better if we had the new repeating rifles like those of the white soldier.
If you have the ammunition, return it to your people.
Any ammunition I take from the white soldier, I will return to them. Just as fast as my warriors can load and fire.
1 wagon load of ammunition, if he has it. And with that, Soldado is going to conquer the United States. I said there was a knife pointed at our hearts. Now I will name that knife Soldado.
No! The knife is the man who takes Crook's place. A man called Smith, a known butcher of Indians.
Soldado, you don't know what you're talking about. The Apaches don't have a treaty with Colonel Crook.
He admits it now.
Shut up and listen. Your treaty is with the government of the United States. Smith has to live up to it, same as Crook does, same as you all do.
You lie. I say you always lie to us.
Twitch one muscle and I'll blow your head off, Soldado. That's a promise.
Soldado, this is a council of Apache chiefs, not a cockfight. Sheath that knife.
You heard this white man threaten to kill me.
Sheath that knife, I command it.
You do not command Soldado, old woman. I cannot match his gun with my knife, but next time...
Soldado! I command you to return to your place.
I will return to my place. Away from here.
The council will consider your message carefully, my son.
What's left of the council? Come on, Sam.
Lucky! Hut!
Rations must be very generous here, soldier.
Yes, sir.
We'll have to find some way to help you work them off. And these, I take it, are our scouts. I'm sure they're very good in smelling out the enemy. If the enemy doesn't smell them first. That hat. It has no place in this command. As a scout, you have complete freedom. Uniform regulation. That doesn't give you the right to show contempt for it. This is not the Confederate Army. And draw the proper hat immediately after inspection.
You pick men for their hats or what's underneath them?
You must be Hondo Lane. Colonel Crook told me about you. You're very special, I know. But I could order you to lose that hat.
And you'd lose me.
Fall out, Lane, and report to my office.
Mommy, what's the matter with Emperado? What did he do? Is that new colonel mad at him?
I don't know, dear.
Barado walks like he's mad, don't he?
It would appear that Hondo's being sent to the woodshed.
Well, I'd like to get him in the woodshed with an axe handle in my hand.
Don't worry about Hondo. He'll be taken care of. We didn't pick Colonel Smith's name out of a hat.
Yeah.
Come on, I'll buy you a drink.
Have a drink, Lane.
Thanks.
You may remove that hat if it's not nailed down to your scalp.
Is that why you called me here, so you could ride me some more about this hat?
No, Lane. I want to talk to you. Drink up. I'm informed you attended a council of Apache chiefs last night.
That's right, but Toro wanted to know the reason for the temporary change in command.
I trust I'm acceptable to them?
Well, they'll let us know about that, I guess.
Too bad you didn't check with me before you left the fort. I have a message for the Apaches that you could have delivered at the same time. However, I drafted what I would have had you say in the form of an order. And I want you to deliver it to Vittorio immediately. You don't approve of the order, Lane?
You want a straight answer?
Mm-hmm.
I think that order makes about as much sense as a lighted cigar in a powder magazine. You can't ask the Apaches to give up their firearms. In the first place, they're entitled to those guns under their treaty.
They've been breaking that treaty right along. Isn't it a fact that in the last 48 hours, they wiped out one family of white settlers and massacred an entire detail with a cavalry supply train?
Those attacks were the work of a few renegades. Most of the Apaches honor the treaty. And they need those guns to feed their families.
They managed to get along for centuries without arms.
They weren't competing with a white man for living space during those centuries, Colonel, and they weren't pinned down on a reservation. You can't do that to them.
I've asked for your opinion, Lane, and you've stated it. The order stands as is and will be enforced to the letter. They have 5 days to deliver their arms to our depot. After that, any Apache found with a firearm
will be executed. I read your order, Colonel. Look, can't you let this whole thing ride along until Colonel Crook comes back? The Apaches are his responsibility, not yours.
Not while I'm in command here. I want this order delivered to Vittorio.
Then you better take it to him yourself.
Lane! I haven't dismissed you.
You might as well, Colonel.
And I'm not dismissing you or your insubordination. I'm restricting you to the limits of this fort. And I'm certain I don't have to warn you. Breaking restrictions is a general court-martial offense.
No, I've been around the Army long enough to know that. Matter of fact, I think I've been around it too long. Sam, I'm gonna make tracks for Toro and then a long ride to Tucson. You stay here, you got a week's leave coming anyway.
Hondo, who the devil sent for you?
You did, Colonel. You said you wanted me to help make peace with Vittorio and the Apaches. Well, if that still means anything to you, you better move and move fast. Forget that decoration Grant's supposed to pin on you.
What's this all about?
You better have a drink, Colonel. Buckeye Jack's ordered the Apaches to give up their rifles or get killed.
He can't do that. Throw me my pants.
That's why I came running after you. Maybe you'll have more luck explaining to Colonel Smith than I did.
I'll do more than explain it to him. Before we start back to Lowell, I better send a telegraph to General Sheridan and ask him to make my manners to grant, of course. But I'll also ask him to terminate my temporary duty orders, Smith as well.
Sheridan's gonna want to know what's going on. You know, it's not every day a bird colonel can tell the President of the United States what to do with a decoration.
I'll tell him. Smith's pushing us into an Indian war. It's no time to protect a brother officer from his own foolishness. Someday, Hondo, someday I'd like to put on a nice, clean, new uniform. Just to see how it would feel not to smell like horse sweat and old buffaloes.
You know, there's only one thing that worries me more than you're smelling like a gentleman and an officer.
What's that?
How much trouble Buckeye Jack could stir up before we get back.
You know, we got the makings of a first-class war going.
Well, we got Soldado supplied with plenty of ammunition. And he's just itching to kill white men right and left.
We got a colonel that's itching to kill Indians. Shouldn't be long before they're both doing what they enjoy most.
I hope you're right about that. I hate to think what'll happen if people ask too many questions about who put Smith in command here.
It won't happen, Grants. If you were a student of history, you'd know that once a war starts, only scholars wonder how and why it began. If they find out, it won't be in our time.
Yeah.
Your beer's flat. That last one tasted just like dishwater.
It is. I'm washing glasses.
Huh. Come on, Sam. Let's just go sit at a table. Well, here's to old Vittorio. His bucks is busting out all over the place, Sam. Like that Soldado fella. Boy, there's one that's itching to give old Buckeye the fight he's itching to get. You want a drink, Sam?
Mr. Baker?
Well, Cap Richards. I plumb forgot to drink one to you. Come on, come sit down and you and me drink to you together, huh?
Well, thank you, no. I have some orders from you, from Colonel Smith.
Oh, well, what are they?
Well, he would like very much for you to lead him out to meet Soldado.
Whatever give him a foolish idea like that?
Well, Soldado sent in one of his warriors to say that he's willing to give up all his guns to Colonel Smith.
I'll bet he is. From the front and the side, the back, any place he can get a good shot at him.
That's an order, Mr. Baker.
I heard you.
What are you going to do about it?
What am I going to do about it? I'm going to have another drink.
I rode 2 days and most of a night to get back here from Tucson. So you can be certain I consider the situation critical, Colonel.
I appreciate your efforts and your advice, Colonel. However...
I'm not advising you, sir. I'm telling you. This gun order is a tragic mistake. You'll have to find some way to back off from it.
I have no intentions of backing off, Colonel. In my opinion, my gun order is long overdue in this area. And I intend to pursue it.
Colonel, you've got to understand that everything we've done here is based on a strong tie with Vittorio. Of course, they're renegade Apaches. But that's exactly why Vittorio's strength and influence must be maintained. If one of those renegades takes over control of the Apache Nation, heaven help us all.
Colonel, we have plans for the renegades, haven't we, Captain?
You better have plans, Colonel, because you'll be fighting a man who's out to hang your guts up to dry. A man named Soldado.
Soldado? Interesting you should mention that name. Tell him about Soldado, Captain.
Soldado was the first Apache chief who offered to surrender all the firearms in possession of his people.
What's your excuse for being that stupid, Captain? You've been around here long enough to know better than to trust Soldado.
Speaking of trust, Lane, I restricted you to the fort 3 nights ago, and I trusted you to observe that restriction, and warned you of the consequences if you didn't.
He broke restriction out of loyalty to this command. I'd also point out that he returned voluntarily.
I'll see that those facts are recorded and he's court-martialed, Colonel. Captain, have this man taken to the guardhouse.
Colonel Smith, within 24 hours, your tour as commander here will be terminated.
Colonel Crook, that may be true. But until those orders arrive, I am in command here, and don't you forget it.
Your gun will be in the desk.
Hondo.
What are you in here for?
Oh, they got me in here for subordination or something like that. You know, I might have known you'd be around to look in on me.
Well, I'm not looking in on you. I'm locked in.
Oh?
What did you do, anyway?
Oh, Buckeye Jack, he wanted me to lead him in a patrol out there to Mesa Roja where Soldado's supposed to turn over them guns of his. I said to him, if you want to get your hair lifted and your scalp tanned by some squaw, that's your business, not me.
Well, it looks like we'll eat high in a hog tonight. Here comes Angie with a big basket.
Yeah? Hey, that Angie's a right smart gal.
Hello, Hondo. Buffalo.
Miss Angie.
How'd you know I was here?
The whole town's talking about how you brought Crook back.
Guess it didn't do me much good.
It did get you free room and board.
Hot out of the oven. It's real good, thank you.
Hondo, I've heard about how many times you've broken out of jail and guardhouses. Please don't break out of this one.
What makes this one any different?
I didn't know you before.
Hector!
I'll tell you, things ain't going right.
What's the trouble?
Smith's going out to pick up Soldado's guns.
Let him try. That should start the war we've been waiting for.
Yeah, I know, but we're liable to lose our special hand-picked colonel. Soldado might kill him.
Fortunes of war, Krantz. Colonel Smith is expendable. We'll just have to buy ourselves another commander.
Yeah.
Forward! Go!
There's one thing you can say about old Buckeye Smith. He certainly was mighty smart and pretty looking. Leastways he was the last time he was seen alive.
Which way, Captain?
Straight ahead, up into the mountains.
Something seemed to be worrying you, Captain?
I was thinking about Mr. Lane, sir, but it's not important.
That's right. The important thing is to get those guns from Soldado.
Yes, sir.
Vittorio!
Open the gate. Vittorio! What are you doing here?
Where is my son?
He's in the guardhouse.
I came to see him.
Come on, we'll both go see him. Well, there he is, Vittorio.
I came here to tell you and Colonel Crook that I have just seen Smith and Richards. They are riding into a trap.
We tried to tell him.
You can't stop them, Colonel?
No, or they wouldn't be out there. I'm under military orders, Vittorio, what's known as a detached status. I have no authority.
That's not so, Colonel. Right this minute, you're the senior officer at the fort. You can do anything you want to do, if you want to do it.
Well, now, which would I rather have, a court-martial or bust it out?
All right, Colonel, so you've asked a lot of men to put their lives on the line. Now you put those birds on the line. Maybe you will get busted. But if you don't do something, the Indian Treaty's gonna get busted, and Colonel Smith and a lot of troopers are gonna get busted right out of living.
Can we stop it?
Well, let's all get out of here and try to spring Soldado's trap if there's still time. Come on, Colonel, ante up those birds.
Even if we get to Smith, I doubt I can stop him. He can order the troops not to follow me. He outranks me by 3 months.
3 months, huh?
I have men. They will follow you, Colonel.
Guard! Open the cell. Release the prisoners.
Captain, you know what occurs to me? Poor Crook was badly misled by that unreconstructed rep, Hondo. There's your proof. What Indian would pick an open spot like this? If it bore a trap?
Yes, sir.
Let's ride in and meet this Soldado, Captain.
Yes, sir.
Soldado. Colonel John J. Smith. I compliment you on the common sense that brings us to this meeting. Men who wish for peace do not need the protection of firearms. You are wise to bring in your arms voluntarily. Splendid example for your people.
Both our peoples will gain, Colonel Smith. As you see, those are very old rifles. Single shot. Even the best of them no longer fire true. We'll be well rid of them. It is time they were replaced. In return for them, we ask for 100 new Winchester repeating carbines and 5,000 rounds of ammunition.
Soldado, you misunderstood my order. We did not come out here to make an exchange.
I did.
That's completely out of the question.
You are wrong, Colonel Smith. To answer! To answer!
Then you'll have to order them to fire. I won't be intimidated. And you're not getting those guns.
That is not for you to say.
I'm in command here.
You are nothing. You will be less than nothing if you or one of your men make a single move. Poderoso, the colonel is too hot. Take off his jacket. Sergeant, you have heard. 100 repeating Winchester and 5,000 rounds of ammunition. I want them here by sundown in an open wagon with only one driver. Do you understand? Then go now and take this with you. So at the fort they will know that soldado means what he says.
From what you tell us, Sergeant, there isn't a prayer of getting Smith and those men out of there alive. If we mount an attack, they'd be the first killed.
Figure we'll have to give Soldado what he asked for. We better get back to Fort Lowell and start loading those wagons. Toro, you know what you have to do.
Got your jacket, Colonel.
You didn't bring those weapons out here.
Why not?
You know what that much firepower means in the hands of these savages? What they'll do to us means nothing.
Just following orders, Colonel. There you are, Soldado. 99 more just like it. Ammunition, too. 5,000 rounds.
Poderoso.
You got everything you want, Soldado?
Yes. Now that you are here, get down.
All right, little soldier.
Let's go! Go down!
Mr. Lane, accept my thanks.
Give you thanks to Colonel Crook. I'd like you to meet Vittorio, chief of the Chiricahua, one of the savages that just saved your hide.
I'm grateful to you and your warriors. I'll see that you are properly rewarded.
Well, that's already been taken care of. That ammunition is to go to Vittorio's people.
It's a very wise decision. It meets with my complete approval. It's quite obvious that these people are in need of assistance in supplying their families with food.
This one goes to Prescott.
Morning, friends. Triplet.
Hello, Hondo.
Nice day, isn't it? Not a sign of a war cloud anywhere.
Oh, those things can blow up just as fast as they blow away. Something will happen. Life in this country abhors a vacuum.
Maybe, but you can't find a man like Buckeye Jack every day. Your breed is dying out, Triplet.
Hondo! Hold up.
Colonel, if you got another job for me...
No job. Everything's quiet and peaceful. At the moment.
Good, I figure I could use a little loafing time. How come you're not taking off to Washington to get that medal pinned on you?
The declaration's been canceled.
You got the president riled up at you?
No, they voted to give Colonel Smith the medal instead.
Buckeye Jack?
For his superb handling of an explosive situation here at Fort Lowell. Then they're gonna kick him upstairs